Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their phylacteries wide and the tassels on their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called Rabbi by others. But you are not to be called Rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth Father, for you have one Father, and He is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted."
Today, anyone can be a star on their own web portal, and the desire to be noticed, appreciated, and even revered is stronger than ever. Jesus, in a monologue that feels more like a coffee conversation than a sermon from on high, draws attention to what we might call the ancient phenomenon of influencers. He speaks about the scribes and Pharisees who, one could say, had more followers than the average Instagram user. The Messiah criticizes the attitude of the scribes and Pharisees, who were theoretically supposed to lead people to live in accordance with the Decalogue but themselves did not follow God's commandments. Their life was full of pretenses, striving for recognition and respect, while simultaneously shifting burdens onto others, burdens they themselves were not too keen to bear. Hypocrisy is thus a deliberate state, not accidental. In contemporary realities, it's not hard to find analogies. How many times do we see leaders, whether in religious communities, politics, or among internet stars, who proclaim one thing and do another? How often are we ourselves inclined to do things for show, forgetting the true inner motivation that should guide our actions? Jesus encourages us to authenticity, to being real, to understand that true greatness lies not in titles, not in applause, but in serving others. In a world that seems to scream, "Look at me," Jesus says, "Look at others." Let's remind ourselves of the maxim from the first chapter of the letter of James. Be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. It's a call to live a life that is consistent with our beliefs, a life that bears witness to our faith, not through shouted words, but through quiet and humble action. So how can we apply these teachings to our life? First, let's consider our intentions. Why do we do what we do? Are our actions driven by a desire to be noticed and praised, or by a true desire to serve others? Next, let's be authentic. Don't let the desire for recognition cloud what's truly important. Remember, our value does not come from how others perceive us, but from how we live our faith every day. True greatness, as Jesus teaches, lies in being a servant to all. Look for ways to support and uplift others without expecting praise in return. In today's times, when everyone can be a teacher on the internet, and even a spiritual guide on the screen of their smartphone, let's remember what really counts: authenticity, humility, and service to others. Let our life, both online and offline, be a continuous effort to be real, to be people of action, not just words. In a world full of pretenses and false images, authenticity, and service to others become the seeds of a revolution. Let our lives speak louder than 1,000 words. Let it be a testimony to the truth that Jesus taught. May God bless us. Amen.